Greetings from Colorado, which joined the Union as the 38th state on August 1st, 1876. It ranks 22nd in population with 4.6 million residents.
You have to be in pretty good shape because the air's a little bit thinner up here, but you get out in the mornings and you feel that cold, crisp air, and it induces you to get out and be active and want to do something and be outside.
Of all the 50 states, Colorado is the highest above sea level. Its terrain averages an elevation of 6,800 feet, and no fewer than 54 of its mountains top the 14,000-foot mark. To dedicated climbers, these peaks are simply the 14ers.
It's really inspired by what this vista told her about the United States, and she was inspired to write America the Beautiful after that hike.
And everything that's in the song is everything that she saw up there. The amber waves of grain and the purple mountains' majesty, that's where it originally came from.
When those majestic purple mountains turn white every winter, millions of skiers flock to Colorado slopes for the famously dry and fluffy snow. Aspen, Telluride, and Vail offer world-class skiing, providing that famous Rocky Mountain high. So it was no surprise when Denver was selected as the host city for the 1976 Winter Olympic Games. But in an unprecedented action, Colorado voters gave the Games the cold shoulder, citing concerns for the environment. A century earlier, the same crisp mountain air that skiers can't resist made Colorado a haven for those suffering from the scourge of the 19th century, tuberculosis.
One of the ideas that many doctors had was that high elevation and dry air would cure tuberculosis, and what better place for that than Colorado?
Of those who sought the cure, none was more infamous than John Henry Holliday. A dentist turned gambler and gunfighter, he was better known as Doc Holliday. Holliday almost certainly had some experience with Colorado jails, but he never saw anything like the administrative maximum facility in Florence, the so-called Alcatraz of the Rockies. Opened in 1994, it's the federal government's only super-max prison, and it houses some of the highest-profile criminals in recent history. Unabomber Ted Kaczynski, Oklahoma City bombing conspirator Terry Nichols, and 9/11 conspirator Zacarias Moussaoui. Less than an hour's drive from Supermax, you'll find another unique institution with a much more noble reputation, the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. Established in 1955 at the height of the Cold War, the Academy symbolizes the importance of strategic air power in the modern military. But like the other service schools, Wild Blue U, as it's sometimes called, has its own peculiar customs.
The tradition here is that all the freshmen would have to run on the outside strips of the terrazzo.
While upperclassmen walk freely on the main campus quad, every time lowly freshmen enter the area, they must run double time at right angles along its borders. The purpose is to instill discipline and camaraderie.
Running the strips is supposed to build officers of character because it's putting you through hard times, getting used to life in the military.
Colorado has a knack for attracting the best and the brightest, no matter what their chosen profession. In fact, Colorado is regarded as one of the 5 most educated states in the nation.
There are many industries that draw highly educated people to Colorado, ranging from the federal government to the aerospace industry. Rocket scientists often have advanced degrees.
But Colorado is perhaps better known for its rough and tumble side. Cowboys. America's first organized rodeo was held in Deer Trail, Colorado on July 4th, 1869. One of the most exciting events that day was a bronco busting contest featuring a fiercely wild horse named Montana Blizzard.
Now, there were black cowboys, there were Mexican cowboys, there were plenty of cowboys from all parts of the United States. But interestingly enough, Emil Gardenshare, an English cowboy, managed to ride Montana Blizzard the longest. For 15 minutes, there was a blur of horse and rider. And at the end of the 15 minutes, he was still atop the horse. He's acclaimed the grand champion, Broncbuster of the Plains.
My view of rodeo guys is that they're crazy. At least we got to have shoulder pads on and helmets on, and people say football players are tough. I think the Cowboys are the tough guys.
The gold and silver boom of the 1860s brought in thousands of fortune seekers who added to Colorado's rugged image. Yet that era also gave the state one of its most dignified institutions, the Denver Mint.
The Mint began way back in 1859 as a private bank, Clark Gruber and Company, which would buy up gold dust from the miners and turn that into $5, $10, and $20 gold pieces.
In 1862, the U.S. Treasury bought Clark Gruber and Company for $25,000 and reopened it later as a government operation. Today, the Mint has an average daily output of 50 million coins.
Denver Mint claims to produce more coins than any other mint in the world, so the next time you check your quarter, look for a little D on the front.
But at Peterson Air Force Base outside Colorado Springs, an entire group of people are much more concerned with a big D, as in defense, national defense to be specific. In the 1950s, with the Cold War heating up and the nuclear arms race in full swing, the U.S. and Canada chose Colorado as the headquarters of a joint operation known as NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command. Its purpose? To provide first alert capabilities in the event of a Soviet attack.
They knew that it was in the center of the country. Initially hoped that we'd get 6 hours of early warning against a bomber attack.
In 1963, the ongoing threat of a nuclear strike prompted NORAD to move its command and control center to a massive bunker 1,000 feet below ground.
This is a huge operation buried deep inside Cheyenne Mountain, just outside of Colorado Springs, where they burrowed into the mountain.
The Cheyenne facility was reinforced with walls of fortified concrete and 30-ton blast-proof iron doors. However, as Cold War tensions relaxed in the 1980s and 90s, new threats emerged, and the government found new ways to utilize NORAD's technology.
The emphasis of NORAD shifted somewhat to monitoring drug trafficking, and after September 11th, the monitoring of domestic airspace in the case of terrorist attacks.
Whether they're defending the nation, minting its coins, busting Broncos, or just enjoying the pristine beauty, Coloradans are honored to live in a place that has lofty ideals to go along with its lofty heights.
I think Colorado's proud of the Rocky Mountains. The views that we have of the Rocky Mountains day in and day out are something that when you get away, you realize how much you enjoy them when you're around them.
Look here, I'm talking about America. America.